What's up, guys? I'm back. I'm updating you guys on my switch from the Canon Fighting Mark III to the Sony a7 II. Good news for you. Good news for you people. I am still shooting Sony here. I'm shooting on my a7 II now, but here is my backup body, my a6000, and here I have it paired with my newly acquired 135 f1.8 on the LAEA4 adapter. I'm not a big fan of the adapter, but I need to have my 135 in autofocus, and it allows me to have it. So yeah, that's for another video. So a lot of you guys have been asking, are you still shooting Sony, and can you give me an update on what's going on and how do you like it? So I've always been a Canon shooter, so this is completely new to me. I've been shooting Sony for 3 months. I've shot a couple weddings with it. I've done a lot of sessions with this camera, all different kinds of pictures and situations, lighting situations. I consider myself more of a strobist. I love using strobes outdoors. I love balancing ambient with light. So I'm not just like a natural light photographer. I do everything. So yeah, I want to talk about the biggest pros and cons in these 3 months from using Sony cameras. My number one is shooting through the EVF. The electronic viewfinder is just, I can't explain it. Like, it has changed my photography. Being able to see the picture in here, being able to preview your exposure before you actually take the picture, is just game changing to me. Because a lot of the times when I'm shooting DSLR and I'm looking through an optical, you don't know what your exposure is, and you're concentrating on exposure, composition, and stuff like that. And with the Sony, you see the picture before you take it. You can see what the background's gonna look like. You can see what the exposure on the person's face is, and all you have to really worry about is composition and framing your shot. And I think that is the biggest benefit in my photography. It has allowed me to just work more freely and get better shots, all in all. So definitely shooting through the EVF, best thing. And I don't think I could ever go back to optical, because I feel like, who wouldn't want to see the picture before they take it? And you can adjust before you take the shot. Like, it's just amazing to me. So number two biggest thing is the image stabilization. And I'm not saying this because I shoot at really low shutter speeds all the time. Where the image stabilization benefits me personally is being able to switch from photo to video at the click of a button, and you're not really losing out on much, because when you shoot the video, it's going to be beautifully stabilized. Like, for example, I shot a wedding one day, and the bride told me that she wanted video when the live band came in. She wanted video of them and people dancing. So, with a DSLR, I'd probably have to change lens to a lens with image stabilization, and with this Sony camera, every lens is stabilized. So, I was taking photos, and at the click of a button, I had stabilized video, and I shot the video. It was perfect. It came out so nice, and then bam, back to photos. So the image stabilization for a lot of you photo video guys, it's gonna be a game changer for you too. So alright, so number three again is the size of the camera. And I know a lot of people say, what's the point of having a small camera if the lenses are getting bigger? Because it's kind of true. The lenses, Zeiss is starting to produce faster lenses for the Sony E-mount, and the lenses are getting kind of chunky and big. But I think they're missing the point when they say that. All right, because a lot of the lenses are not as big as DSLR lenses. Like my Zeiss 55 1.8, what I'm shooting on now, it's a small lens, and it's the quality is freaking mind blowing. So for example, I shot an engagement shoot in a conservatory, and the greeter, the person in the front, they had big signs that said no professional photography allowed. And when the greeter saw me, she's like, "Oh, hey, I just want to let you know that there's no professional photography allowed here." And I had my little A7 II with the 55, and I told her, I'm like, "Oh, I'm not a professional." And she looked at my camera, and she looked up, she's like, "Okay, we'll have, well, enjoy." I mean, if I were to show up with a 5D Mark III and an L lens, she would have known that, okay, no, you're here to take professional pictures. That's kind of cool about the A7 II, that you don't really look professional. It also benefits, like, if you do a lot of street photography, you don't have to worry so much about people trying to like jack you and trying to steer your camera, because it doesn't look as fancy. It doesn't look as professional as other cameras. And not only that, but the size. When you pair it with the smaller lens, you could carry this camera all day. You can carry it all day, and there's no weight bearing on your wrist or on your shoulder. There's nothing. And even when you put a bigger lens, like this is kind of ridiculous, but the A6000 with the 135, this lens is absolutely just massive and heavy. But even putting it on a smaller body, it's still lightweight. I mean, I have to have one hand on the lens anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. So yeah, size is also one of the big ones. There's so many pros, but I want to just talk about the big ones, the big points, the ones that really matter to me. So I'm going to start talking about the cons, some of the bad things, because there are bad things. So number one con I'd have to say is the lens selection for the Sony FE mount. The lens selection is improving, it's getting better, and there's rumors that they're going to come out with 5 or 6 new FE mount in the year 2016, which it's kind of nice to hear. But at the moment, the lens selection is very poor. I started out using the 24-70 f4, and it was a good lens, but I ended up selling it because I just can't shoot at f4. It's just not my style. My style is primes. I love shooting at 1.4, 1.8. I love shooting wide open. I couldn't do the f4. Yeah, so I started off with the 50 by 1.8, best lens ever. I love it. And the new 35 1.4 is like $1,500-$1,600. You could probably get it used now for like $1,300-$1,400. To me, that's outrageous. When there's a Sigma 35 1.4 art out there for about $600 used, I might as well just get the Sigma. But that would require me to use the A mount adapter and lose all of my focus points, because this only has 15 autofocus, and that's a bummer. And I wish I could just use all of native glass, but at the moment can't really do that right now unless you have big bucks. So yeah, definitely the lens selection kind of sucks, but it is definitely going to improve. And so yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. Number 2 is the native flash selection. When I started, I shot the HVL F32M, which it's a small compact flash. It only requires 2 batteries. The problem with that flash is it didn't have all the bells and whistles. It didn't offer high speed sync. It didn't you couldn't shoot it off camera, and the recycle time just sucked. Shooting a wedding and you're knocking off shots, and then I'd get dark shots because it wouldn't go off. The flash wouldn't go off. And after that wedding, I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to get a bigger flash, and that's not native, but I need good recycle times. So what I ended up doing was I actually got the Nissan a7ii, which offers high-speed sync and TTL. It's like $300. So that's what I did. I wish I could have got a Sony flash, but as of right now, I have to settle for third party. So, number 3 is a big one, okay? The battery life on these cameras, it just absolutely sucks. The battery life is garbage. I have like 7 extra batteries, third party batteries, that I go through like M&Ms. Like, it's ridiculous, but it's something that I need, I'd have to say it's it's not a deal breaker. The battery life is not a deal breaker because the batteries are so cheap and it only takes 5 seconds to change. You know, stuff your pocket with 3 or 4 batteries. Usually I only go through 2 or 3 a day on a wedding, so it's not that bad, guys. People make a big deal about the batteries, and yes, it does suck because you're used to a battery lasting you all day on the DSLR, but I think the pros outweigh the con when it comes to battery life. Just stack up on some batteries and you'll be fine. So definitely don't let that hinder you purchasing the Sony. The battery life, it is bad, but it's not deal breaking bad. So number 4, what I thought was the last con that really affected me coming from the Canon was the autofocus, mainly in low light. Because in good light, the autofocus on the mirrorless, well, at least on the a7 II and even better on the a6000, is the low light is very, very suspect. If the room is dim, you know, shooting at like 1600 ISO, you know, at 1.8, shutter speed like 125, you know, I'm just thinking what that would look like. The camera, you know, autofocus is pretty good, but once it gets really, you know, kind of really dark, it hunts, you know, it does hunt. And in similar situations, I remember my 5D Mark III would nail the shots, would gain focus. So low light autofocus, it does struggle, and I hope that the a7 III or like as the cameras, you know, because Sony puts them out like iPhones, so hopefully next year they have a camera with better autofocus and low light, because I do miss the Canon low light autofocus capability. But you know, Sony has so many points in the frame that it's awesome that you don't have to really focus and recompose, because there's usually a point there at the corner. So yeah. Oh, and also when it comes to autofocus, if you like using a certain focus point, it's kind of a pain in the ass on the Sony to change it. You'd have to go back in the menu and then click the square, and then you got to move the square around. Versus in the Canon, you can click a button and then just move it with that little nipple thing. You can just move the point. Versus Sony, it takes like two, 3 more steps to get to that menu, and that's kind of a pain in the ass. So yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there's so many other things that I can say, pros and cons, when it comes to this switch, like face detection and there's so many bells and whistles in this camera that I love, but these are the ones that have really made an impact in my shooting. I have to say, for those people that say that Sony is not ready for professional use, I have to disagree. I think that Sony is, I think as of right now, you can use Sony professionally, because I am, and I'm doing pretty damn good with it. But it can get better. It definitely can get better, and it will get better, because, you know, Sony's innovating. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to when it comes to Sony and these mirrorless cameras. So yeah, guys, these are my pros and cons using Sony for 3 months, and yeah, I hope this video helped you guys out in any decisions that you're gonna make or you have made. And yeah, so I'll be making some more. I've been kind of busy. So yeah, guys, take care.